welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Friday. Finally, Friday. Masters Day 2, as it might be called, at least in this condo. Please visit BuckeyeCast.com. Check out the video of all. Also, check out all the gear there. Get yourself suited up before the season gets here. It's going to go by a little quickly this summer. A lot to talk about. We got 12-team playoff coming on this year, but got this spring game tomorrow. So I usually do during the season, if you're new to the show, I do on Fridays 5 keys to a Buckeye victory. Well, this week, I think a victory is almost assured by the Buckeyes, but instead, I'm giving you 5 things to watch in the spring game. So let's get into it. Number 1, Will Howard versus the field. QB1. So heading into the spring game, it's expected that Will Howard, the transfer, will be the starting quarterback. That's assumed by a lot of people, not by this podcast host, though, I will tell you that. So Will Howard comes in with the most experience, starting, playing, everything. It fits what Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are looking for in a quarterback, especially the durability, the mobility. Devin Brown's also been taking first-team reps, though. Started the spring as the leader because he was, he's been here the longest. Lincoln Keenholz has been in the system almost a full year. He did come in last summer, so he's getting close and has just as high of a ceiling as anybody in the room. The questions will be surrounding the freshmen. Aaron Nolan comes in, 5-star, just as talented as all the other guys. Julian Sand, he's been hyped up lately in practice as possibly the most accurate arm. But I do want to say something that might sound nuts, but I don't know why. I don't know why people think this sounds crazy, but all this talk about having 5 QBs in the room is not that big a deal, I don't think. I'm going to stick to my guns unless something happens in the next few days when the portal opens. Don't be surprised if the Ohio State has 5 quarterbacks going into fall camp. I don't expect to have a quarterback named after the spring game. Ryan Day's not going to do that. I think it's going to be between Devin, Will Howard. Obviously, you brought in Will Howard because you don't know if Devin has the durability. You don't want to head into a fall camp with Devin Brown and get dinged up again. He could hit his hand again on a helmet in any practice. Then you're back to the Cotton Bowl where Lincoln Keenholz is the only guy ready behind him. And is he really ready? I don't know. It takes more than a year, it seems like, for these guys to get the offense down, not to mention the body development, the arm strength development, accuracy, all that shit you got to work on. So we'll see. We do want to see how the two fare in this spring game. So Will Howard versus Devin Brown, who comes out? Maybe it's not even clear to us. So if it's not clear to us, how could it be clear to Ryan Day? All right. What to watch for? Number 2, key to a Buckeye victory, whatever. Offensive line. Let's talk trenches. Most eyes will be on the O-line at the spring game. That's debatable. But starting 5 O-line need to show they're ready, even against the Ohio State defensive line. Now, you're not going to see a lot of action from the starting D-line, but let's see how the O-line fares. I got my starting lineup as Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Seth McLaughlin, Luke Montgomery, and Josh Fryer from left tackle to right tackle. So you got the new guys are McLaughlin, the Alabama transfer at center, and then Luke Montgomery, second-year guy, true sophomore, prior to the 419 from Findlay, Ohio. So those are new guys along the line. And last year's offensive line was a large part of the struggles, but it came to a head versus the Cheaters and in the Cotton Bowl. All three returning linemen showed flashes, but also struggled at times. Fry and Day benched Carson Hinsman before the bowl game, and they saw that what Enoch Lamahi brought to the table. Not much. So depth is a major concern. So if any of the starters struggle and no one steps up from the depth chart, Ohio State's going to have to look into the portal for O linemen. And the two positions I'm concerned about are really just one. I guess right tackle is my main concern. And then who is our sixth man in? It can't be Enoch Lamahi. Last Sunday, Jeff suggested Tegra. I could see that. If he could play but any position, sure, left or right. If he doesn't have a preference or a better, better side or not, then yeah, if all things are equal. So let's see how the O-line does. And with that, let's talk D-line here. Things to watch. Number 3, the defensive line is one of the strengths of the team. Of course, you got JT, Jack, Tyleek, all returning, but the issue is with the depth. What does Larry Johnson do when those starters need a breather or they get dinged up? There have been reports out of practice that Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry have been impressive. I did a show earlier in the week about Kenyatta and Caden Curry specifically and how they're building something special, according to Larry Johnson. But last year, the Buckeyes didn't utilize much of a rotation at all. Last year, the total snaps taken by the Buckeye defensive ends was 1,713, but only 435 were not JT or Jack. Jack had 605, JT 673. So he just sprinkled 435 over other guys. On the interior, Tyleek had 642. He led the way in Ty Hamilton with 343. They have the most returning experience, of course. And then, so the second unit on the defensive line must step up. And with that, especially on the interior, who's coming in behind Tyleek and Ty Hamilton? How's that rotation look? Got Caden McDonald, young guy, second year guy. Then you got Hero Canoe, third year guy. Taiwan Malone, the transfer. He's got one more year. It's time for him to make a move, So a lot of guys there. Depth is where we're focusing on that D line. So let's see how things go with the D line depth. Number 4 thing to watch, the tight end room. Inconsistent usage of the tight ends has always been confusing. The Buckeyes had a talented guy in Jeremy Ruckert years ago, rarely used him. He was a converted receiver. Then they made Cade Stover a converted linebacker, the third best tight end in the program in history, So Buckeyes seem to have plenty of talent, but Will Kazmarek is a transfer from the MAC from Ohio. He had 500 yards and 2 touchdowns on 42 receptions in his career there. G. Scott's been with the Buckeyes for 4 years. Joined the tight ends before the 2021 season. He's played sparingly and has only put together 140 yards and 2 touchdowns off of 20 catches. So, again, not a lot of production. The freaky wild card guy in this battle is Jelani Thurman, of course. He's a redshirt freshman. He's highly touted 4-star recruit in the 2023 class. Same school as Air Nolan. Was the 4th best tight end in the nation. Last year, he had to learn and develop. He had 2 catches for 18 yards against Michigan State. In high school, he was really just used as a large receiver, So now he's learning the blocking side of the position. And Thurman has the highest ceiling of all 3 for sure, and the most athletic ability. It'll be interesting to see if he takes a step in this off season, and if we see that on Saturday. So I'll be watching Jelani for sure. Number 5 thing to watch in the spring game, the true freshman. Obviously, J.J. Smith Jeremiah Smith is the spotlight there. How many true freshmen, early enrollees get playing time with the first team is another thing to watch on Saturday. Jeremiah Smith has been turning heads in practice, making catches over future NFL draft picks, one-handed catches while being assaulted, I guess I'd call it. But he's making a serious case to be a week 1 starter against Akron. So we could be watching the birth of a star. Don't forget about the rest of the talent in that room, though. You got Carnell Tate. He looked good in limited action last year. I think he had around 200 snaps, something like that. Brandon Ennis, he'll be working in the slot. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. He was held out of the Student Appreciation Day scrimmage a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully we see him on Saturday suited up. Emeka probably won't play a lot, but he's on pace to break some Ohio State receiving records. So there's plenty of 4 and 5 stars running around and waiting in the wings at all positions, especially at receivers. So let's see what we got, especially from these young guys. You're going to see a lot of them, and hopefully we can see I would love to see all the quarterbacks, all the receivers. Bryson Rogers, look for him. He could have a breakout season, and let's see what everybody else has. So looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Again, noon on Fox, and I got to go 2 screens. Masters. Oh, man. I'll go back and rewatch the Buckeye game like 3 times. And on Sunday, let's see. Saturday, I should be giving you my instant reaction. How's that sound? Sounds good. All right. After the game, I'll give you instant reaction. All right. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.